1600 on the map, yeah. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite, yeah. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting all I bury you inside the booth. Founding father vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Big tech, turn these dreams to bad. I'm the voice of the hood trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hands, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK. Now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus, it's the people's house. Big Zeus, powers in the air. Big Zeus, yeah. We knocking on the door. Big Zeus, we wanna hear your soul. Yeah, yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. Smart people, all them players. Yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600, got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. I'm trapping out the west wind, doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing, but you don't know who is on my line. Got the Constitution jumping, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kicks and the rally outside. And the gates is locked. This power never divides. Sitting for the block. Head buses make them wanna fight. 1600, do it all day. All night, the people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it, yeah. Money talk, loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
The people's house, power's in the air. Yeah, it's the people's house. We knocking on your door. It's the people's house. We wanna hear your soul.
Zeus.
Big Zeus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show started. All right, let's get it going, ladies and gentlemen. We don't got all morning to do the real work. All right, welcome. All right.
It's like I'm stuck in time.
Let's go.
It's like a curse. And I can't escape it. It's like deja vu. It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it, look at my grass. Cars in the garage, the tanks full of gas. I play the game so well, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous. The algorithm turns you to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. And if they use my ex, that mean they left me.
Good morning, ladies and
They don't give
gentlemen.
me calls
Welcome.
if they text me. I say it with my chest cause I mean it.
All right.
Got a lot of confidence and I'm
Hold on.
conceited.
Look at
Call
this.
me the
Zeus
master
hater.
of the with.
Zeus hater right here. Listen to him. Listen to him. Hold on. What did he say?
I didn't get a meal ticket.
Yes.
Shit was
Keep it clean,
radical.
please.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Oh, I'm going way off the rails.
Deja vu. It's like deja vu.
I'm going off the
It's
rails.
like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
I've gone off the rails. All right, well, let's just see about that. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I'm your host. I'm your pilot, and you know exactly why we are gathered here. We have to do the real work it takes to save this country from the evil clutches of Donald J. Trump and his legion of supporters who we all understand are hell-bent on destroying this great country of ours. Today is the 5-year anniversary of January 6th. And so with that being said, I will definitely make it a point to emphasize just how vile and disgusting MAGA is on this day. This is one of the darkest days of my lifetime. I haven't been here the full 250 years of the United States existence, but this is going to go down as the darkest day in American history, because this is when folks who branded themselves as patriots decided that they were going to take it upon their own to try to overthrow our democracy, as if they were here fighting for the independence back when George Washington was here. And we're not going to allow that, all right? And so before I get into that, let me take care of some very important housekeeping items. For those of you, this is your first time tuning in, I go by the name Zeus, or something like to say Triple H, and something like to even say the Rizzler. But I'll explain the Triple H. The first H is because I am honest. I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down. And you can even ask all of my opposition. They'll say, I can't even believe Zeus said that, because that's how honest I am. The second H, it's because I am humble. There's nobody more humble than me. If I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize. But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt, it doesn't mean that I owe you an apology. Because people have been telling me I should apologize for that joke that I tell about the Trump voter who left Texas and went to Russia because he didn't want to be woke anymore. And then Putin sent him to the front line and he lost his life. And I brought the dog into it, and they say, Zeus, you shouldn't tell that. It's not funny. But actually it is funny. And so I will not apologize for it, because it's a real story and it highlights just how simple-minded MAGA really is. So that's how, but if it was really a bad joke, I would apologize, all right? And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am and will always remain, you've guessed it, the most handsome. And Eugene, you know that. You know that, bro. Now, many of you know exactly what I do. What I do, no one else can do it the way that I do. I mean, people want to say, Zeus, you need to get in here and debate and this and that. I'm at a point now where I don't even really want to debate these Trump voters. I just want the world to just see how insane they really are. A lot of the Trump voters, when I listen to them, and I go back and I'm doing things throughout my day, just the most insane things that a human being could ever utter come from MAGA, right? And so what I'll say is this. Do I have any Trump voters out there? Anybody out there worshiping Donald Trump still? On your knees eating Cheetos. On your knees eating Cheetos. She-Fit, stop platforming them. Listen, She-Fit, I'll be honest with you. I would be preaching to the choir if I didn't talk to them. That's the sad part about how all of this stuff works. Well, maybe not, because you know what my handsomeness. She-Fit, you're right. Now that I think about it, you're right. I could probably just sit here and let my handsomeness just radiate all throughout social media. And that would trigger them too. I mean, because these folks, and Takesha, she said it right. A lot of them grew up out of just nasty households and things like that. And so what we're realizing is these folks really need some help. These folks, they watch Fox News and they listen to Donald Trump, and all of a sudden they think they're superheroes, right? So let me ask, do I have anyone out there that thinks they're a superhero because Donald Trump is their president and they wear a red hat? Anyone out there? And you see, never mind. I'll just say this. If you're a Trump supporter, leave my show right now. Because unlike a lot of other people, I'm not out here to be your friend, I'm not really out here to be your friend. I'm not really here to be your therapist. I'm here to make your life worse. I'm here to make sure you're suffering in the United States of America. And while you're suffering, you understand that you're only suffering because of Donald Trump. All right? If you're in here and you don't want me to do that to you, leave right now, because it's going to get very uncomfortable for you. I promise you it will. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here,
thank you,
then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
Yeah.
If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Yeah.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome, they've officially closed. And I do not take any responsibility, but I do encourage all of my mutuals, just hang in there. If I bring up someone you don't like, just hang in there. Because trust me, they'll never run the kingdom. But sometimes I do need people that I need to send to hell. And especially on a day like today. Today is another anniversary. Good morning, Jim. Today is, once again, a reminder of how dangerous Donald Trump is. What him and MAGA did to the United States Capitol on January 6th, it's unforgivable. And to add insult to injury, Donald Trump pardoned these demons and released them back onto the streets of America. It's un-American that we have to live in a country where we have a person that aspires to be a dictator. He's a tyrant, but then he thinks, no, I'm not the dictator. He goes and gets Maduro. And I'll talk about that too. But I sit here and I say to myself, I say, wow, MAGA has to be the worst of the worst and truly the scum of the earth. Taurus, if I'm lying, Taurus, please, I should just put a sign up. Prove me wrong. Joe Biden is responsible for January 6th. Do you understand law enforcement officers were harmed that day? Taurus, Doozy, DJ. Good morning, Erica. Nice to see you. And I used to do this all the time. I used to just literally want. I miss Joe Biden. While Joe Biden was in office, I used to have this way of just highlighting how we all got into this situation on January 6th, right? And so I want to, before I get into January 6th, I just want to remind MAGA and the people that voted for him, I'm not going to be so forgiving. So before I do a little of my January 6th stuff, I want to talk about some things that are going on in America right now. And we have another update from our good friend Ann Vandersteel. All right. She's a Trump voter, 3 times Trump voter. And while they're lying about all of the success in Venezuela, and while they're lying about how Donald Trump's poll numbers are surging through the roof, and they're only spreading these lies right now because we're in the midterm year and MAGA is in full-blown panic mode. She, like several other Trump voters, they're starting to have a bit of an awakening, and maybe it's because they've been listening to Big Zeus, but I'll read what she said yesterday, and then I'll go ahead and get into judgment. Don't worry about the photo in my background. Do not worry about the photo in my background, especially to all of you who called this a peaceful protest, because I'm going to talk about that. But I want to read what Miss Vandersteel said. She says, "Dear President Trump," this is a Trump voter, "we the people would love to know, wherefore cometh your love for Lindsey Graham." Remember Lindsey Graham and him were on an airplane together over the weekend and they were going back to Washington, D.C.? Oh, but she's now concerned. "Lately, we see you carrying him around like a purse puppy. But Lindsey Graham was one of the chief GOP Trump haters for years, sort of like J.D. Vance. He said January 6th was your fault and called your supporters domestic teas." I can't say the T word on TikTok, but you get what it is, domestic teas. "He voted to convict you in both impeachments in 2021. He called you a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot in 2015. He said you were not fit to be the president and a kook who would destroy the party. He begged Jeb Bush to stay in the 2016 race to stop you. He called your Muslim ban idea un-American. He criticized your America First stance repeatedly. He trashed Hold on. I'm moving too fast. He trashed your election challenges as third world nonsense. He praised Biden's God-given ability to lead in 2020. Only after you won again did he flip to his psychopathic mode. We get that politics is transactional, but Lindsey spent years stabbing you in the back. Why the loyalty now? We, the 77 million MAGA, are confused." This is the only honest thing she said. "We, the 77 million MAGA, the ones who assaulted the Capitol on January 6th, we're totally confused. Was it all just another hoax? Humbly and patriotically yours, Ann Vandersteel, perplexed, unelected representative of the American people." You see, this is why I was in that live yesterday, Dark MAGA Scott, and her name is Blessed. She shouldn't name herself Blessed. She should name herself Curse. They were piping off at me. And I said, y'all, you Trump voters, when I see MAGA, all I see is a bunch of clowns wearing big red shoes. And not the people that work at McDonald's, because those are real people. But you're all a bunch of clowns. And I'm at the point now where y'all don't even know what you stand for. You don't even know what you stand for. All you do is get on social media and repeat the talking points that your dear leader feeds you. You know what they call it? They call it fed slop. And so what I'm going to do is this, ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire. They call it Fed slop. They call it cult scripture. Join me in sending these seditionists, treasonous traitors who keep flip-flopping on issues. Last month, we were all talking about Epstein. This month, all of a sudden, you're cheering that we captured Maduro. You don't know what to stand for. Join me in sending them straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
No lies detected. I've not told one lie. Seriously. DJ, are you here, DJ? I have some Trump voters out here talking about Donald Trump is doing a great job with the economy right now. Well, Fox News doesn't seem to think so. And if it comes from Fox News MAGA, you know it's true. Fox Business is admitting that we are in a bit of a recession.
In the ISM. So ISM for December was lower. It's still it's still contracting.
Uh-oh.
We're still in a manufacturing recession. It's only manufacturing's only expanded twice since the fall of 2022. And just looking at the percentage of
This Taurus.
85% of the sector's GDP contracted in December compared to just 58% in November. And if you read the commentary, it's costs, and they blame tariffs. All of the businesses that are quoted say that those are huge headwinds. And
So, as small businesses all over the country continue to shut down, especially MAGA small businesses, Donald Trump's doing victory laps. Isn't it amazing that we could have all these small businesses shutting down and there'll be a manufacturing, they say it's a manufacturing recession, and it's all because of Donald Trump's tariffs. Isn't it amazing that this is happening and MAGA is still running around here calling this success while they're losing everything. They don't have access to any FEMA. They don't have any access to health care. They don't even get food anymore, but they're running around here saying this is a huge success. And so what I want to do is this, MAGA. Remember when I was telling you, or maybe I'll let you go ahead and say it. Maybe I'll let you hear. Remember when he said this? Hold on. Let me see if I got it. Hold on. Oh, yeah.
The stock market is only up because they think I'm going to win. And if we don't win, according to many people, including one of the greatest Wall Street prognosticators, Scott Bessent. Has anyone heard of him? One of the most brilliant guys on Wall Street. If I don't win, you will have a 1929 style depression. Enjoy it. I believe that.
Okay, all right.
I believe that.
Guess what we're gonna do,
I believe it.
Join me in warming up the lake of fire because MAGA fell for it. They thought that if he lost, they would get a 1929 style depression. But what they didn't realize was, actually, it was the other way around. If you vote for Donald Trump, you will get a 1929 style depression. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons that voted to vote their small businesses to be put out of business. Join me in sending them straight to hell. It's so easy.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, it's so easy to do this, ladies and gentlemen. It's so easy to just dog walk MAGA because they really, honestly, they do not know what the heck they stand for. I'll give you another example. How many of you know who Megyn Kelly is? It seems like, she's got a little bit of an issue with Donald Trump invading Venezuela. And she's now starting to sing a different tune. W. Rick. Megyn Kelly admits on Fox that Fox News is state TV. This is what she is admitting. And, they're doing this now because they're starting to understand there are real life consequences to putting the most corrupt person in the White House and possibly allowing him to send your children off to these forever wars.
Something we need to consider both sides on. I really do. Let me just tell you something. When I was at Fox News, which was a long time, 14 years, I would have known exactly what to do in the wake of Trump's attack in Venezuela.
You would have.
Retrieval, shall we say, to put it in mild terms, of Nicolas Maduro. I would have known that I was supposed to cheerlead it. And I turned on Fox News yesterday, and I'm sorry, but it was like watching Russian propaganda. There was nothing skeptical. It was all rah-rah, cheerleading, yes, let's go. And that's fine. I love our military as much as anyone, and I believe in President Trump, but there are serious reasons to just exercise a note of caution before we just get on the rah-rah train.
Oh.
All right, I have done that enough times in my career as a Fox News anchor to have been embarrassed enough to know I'm going to stay on the yellow light for this. I'm not in the green light territory. I'm not in the red light territory either, but I am staying in the yellow light territory.
Isn't it amazing when these demons all of a sudden get in front of a little bit of a personal, they have a little bit of an awakening. It's almost like the sky opens up and the cloud, the fog that was over them clears. Isn't it amazing? Good morning, Brother Santana. Isn't it amazing how all of a sudden they have they're really clear-eyed, clear-minded, and can speak truth to light. Good morning, Kabira. It just makes you wonder, why do these clowns, MAGA is nothing but a bunch of clowns. I've never honestly met an honest Trump voter. I've never met a real Christian that's a Trump voter. I've never met a real conservative, all right, that claims they know Donald, represents the conservative values, WVIP. But now Megyn Kelly is concerned that her children might be sent to Venezuela. Megyn Kelly, don't get concerned. No, that's Big Zeus's new oil supply. And I need boots on the ground, Megyn Kelly. I need boots on the ground to protect my new oil supply, Megyn. And I'm not going because I told you he was crazy. But you went and voted for him. And unfortunately, we need someone to do it. And if you got kids, send them. Because you don't love your kids, Megyn Kelly. How could you say you love your children and then vote for Donald Trump, who we all know is in the Epstein files? You can't have it both ways. But listen to her try to straddle the fence, and it's not going to work with Big Zeus. And listen, I should apologize. I really should. But I'm not sorry.
For now. I see all of the strategic advantages of what he's done. Trust me, I do. I see that other countries like Russia and China and Cuba were all over Venezuela and its oil, posing a potential threat to the United States. I get that. That's actually the most persuasive argument.
You know what, Megyn Kelly? I'm starting to get a little upset. Why aren't you mentioning Joe Biden? But Biden.
Obviously the real one, and none of this bullshit about law enforcement. But I have seen what happens when you cheerlead unabashedly U.S. intervention in foreign countries, thinking it's for our good and for the international good, only to wind up with what we've called quagmire in places like Iraq, not to mention Libya. We're not great at going into these foreign countries, decapitating them at the leadership level, and then saying either we're going to steer the country to a better place or it's going to steer itself. Either one. They just, 9 times out of 10, they don't work out well. And what does it mean in terms of boots on the ground? Trump is saying, I'm actually fine with that in Venezuela. Well, whose boots? Because I have a 16-year-old boy. And I have a 12-year-old boy. And I have a 14-year-old girl. And a lot of my listeners have children, too, who are actually the ones who might have to fill the boots. So I think I speak for a lot of moms and dads for that matter when I say I'm staying in yellow territory until we know more. And I will not be joining the Fox News cheerleading brigade this time. I've been burned too many times.
How many of y'all feel sorry for Megyn Kelly? Because she's concerned that she may have to send her children to defend our new oil supply. How many of y'all feel sorry for her? Because if you do, I won't send her to hell. If you feel sorry for her, and maybe y'all say no, no, okay. Neither do I then. Neither do I, because, hold on. Did I see a yes? Hold on. Did I see a yes out there? Oh, Taurus says no one is going anywhere. Okay, Taurus. You keep on eating the fed slop, consuming the cult scripture, drinking on that Kool-Aid. It's too early, Taurus, for you to be this loaded, this inebriated on Kool-Aid. Have you lost your mind? This is Megyn Kelly. She's worked for the propaganda machine. She knows what's going on. And you still out here denying what's clearly in front of your face. And you notice she never mentioned the Democrats or Joe Biden. And that's something you all should really process, because it's never been the Democrats or Joe Biden. It's been your dear leader. So ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire again. Taurus, this is the worst day. I'm going to be honest with you, Taurus. This is the worst day to be disagreeing or being disagreeable, so to speak, with Big Zeus. On January 6th, you're going to try to pretend like Donald Trump somehow is a responsible person? Absolutely not. I'm not going for it. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons once again who support Donald Trump straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon. You're either stupid or you hate the country.
What about the summer of love, Taurus? What about it? What do you want to say to me about the summer of love, Taurus? What really is bothering you? Because I don't think you understand the gravity of what it's like to be, really in the cult. You're in a cult, and you're just going to help me prove my point. Because I promise you, Taurus, you don't have a leg to stand on. I'll give you another example of what I mean. You don't have a leg to stand on. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, Maria Machado, the woman who played herself. Yeah, she played herself. And she didn't listen to me, because everyone who worships Donald Trump's at the end of the whole ride ends up in worse situation than they've ever been. Name one person who's walked away from the Trump administration actually in a better situation. Name one person. No one does, because that's not how the game goes. And what she did, she thought she was playing old Donnie Boy. She thought she did. She won the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, this has to be the joke of the decade. I mean, one of the jokes of the decade, that and the guy that left Texas to go to Russia to not be woke anymore, and then Putin had him unalive. That's funny, too. But she didn't give Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, and she didn't reject the Nobel Peace Prize. But she thought she's going to be a little more clever than Donald Trump. She said, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dedicate it to him. And then let's just say things work out, I'm going to be the first one in line. All right. And that's how she thought it was. But it's not working out that way. And even Fox News, they know that. And they're just literally allowing her to prove how insane and how silly she is once she's possessed with the MAGA demon. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Nobel recipient, Maria Machado. Venezuela. She wants to be the president of Venezuela, and she believes that Donald Trump is going to do the right thing and make her the president of Venezuela, because she gave him, or she dedicated her Nobel Peace Prize to him. But just listen to how she goes on to Fox News yesterday after Donald Trump basically said, you have no way in hell of being the president of Venezuela. He told her that in so many words. She goes on the Fox News. Please let me on Fox News, because she knows this is where Donald Trump gets all of his information from. And let me give Donald Trump another chance. Let me have him look at me and hopefully feel sorry for me, and then maybe make me the president of Venezuela. So just listen to how she plays herself.
Talk about it. You stayed in the country, but you were hiding within your country until you went to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. And I want you to tell us, you never went back at that point. Did you not go back because you feared for your life? And tell us, I mean, it's not very usual that people will dedicate the Nobel Peace Prize to the leader of a different country and say publicly, he deserves this more than I do. But you did that.
Let me be very clear. As soon as I learned that we had been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, I dedicated to President Trump, because I believed at that point that he deserved it. And a lot of people, most people, said it was impossible to achieve what he has just done on Saturday, January 3rd. So if I believed he deserved it on October, imagine now. I think he has proven to the world what he means.
Maria, I'm going to stop you right there. Donald Trump doesn't deserve anything except for a prison cell. See, you can't watch a person commit evil, vile acts against humanity. A person that partied with Jeffrey Epstein. People say, Zeus, please do not bring up the Jeffrey Epstein. That stuff is old. No, no, no. I'll never stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump's relationship and how all you so-called Christians, Taurus, I'm talking to you, Doozy, I'm talking to you, DJ, I'm talking to you, how all of you so-called Christians went and voted for a man that partied with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm never going to stop bringing that up. So no, if you do that, you don't deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. If you attack the Capitol on January 6th, you do not deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. So Maria, maybe no one around you loves you enough to tell you the truth, but you played yourself. You really did play yourself. You allowed Donald Trump to play you like a fiddle. I don't even think the people of Venezuela, they don't want you to be the president. Nuh-uh. Maybe before you did this little thing with the Nobel Peace Prize, maybe you had a real chance. But where you're at right now, you're literally, just floating through outer space somewhere, going to nowhere. People don't even know where you're headed. So no, I don't feel sorry for you. And to the Trump voters, I want to remind you all where you're at right now, why I say you all look like a bunch of clowns. Kristi Noem yesterday said Venezuelans should start looking into getting refugee status here in the United States. And I said, wow, this is incredible. Donald Trump has literally got the people of Venezuela to look ridiculous. And he's also got his base to look ridiculous, because now his base, they want more things for Venezuela than they want for themselves. They want Venezuelans to have health insurance. They want Venezuelans to have a good economy. They want Venezuelans to be free from a dictator, while at the same time here in the United States, we're all suffering at the hands of a dictator. A wannabe dictator, right? Seriously. A man who's ruining the economy. Like I said earlier, we're headed towards a 1929 style depression, one like we've never seen before. Because this time, there won't be any eggs, there won't be any beef. And MAGA says, this is what we wanted. He told you he wanted to get the immigrants out, but he's bringing them in now. MAGA, this looks like Donald Trump's diaper inside. And guess what? You're all over it. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the Lake of Fire once again. Oh, that's loud. Y'all really want it hot. A hard head makes for a soft behind. Case closed. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
I get this on the record, because this is really what's bothering me, and it has to do honestly, I'm gonna go back to what happened on January 6th. We all must remember what happened on this very dark and dangerous day. And I'll let our good friend remember, let's see who I'll remember it, but we'll let our good friend Liz Cheney remind us all what happened on January 6th.
And in this country, under our Constitution, our president has a particular solemn obligation to ensure and guarantee the peaceful transfer of power. Since the beginning of the Republic, every president in our history has fulfilled that duty.
Yeah.
Every president until Donald Trump. When Donald Trump woke up on the morning of January 6th, 2021,
Remember?
his intention, despite having lost the election, was that he would remain president. Rather than accept his loss and concede defeat, he had spent months overseeing a multi-part plan to attempt to seize power and remain in office.
Yeah.
He ignored the rulings of the courts. He corruptly pressured state legislatures, including here in Wisconsin, to overturn the results of their elections. He told the Justice Department to lie for him. He conspired to have fake electoral votes cast, and he corruptly pressured his vice president to take illegal and unconstitutional actions. He summoned a mob to Washington, D.C. with his lies, and he sent the armed mob to the United States Capitol in an effort to stop the counting of electoral votes. As the violent mob attacked our Capitol in Donald Trump's name, as they brutally beat law enforcement officers, as they hunted the Vice President and the Speaker of the House, Donald Trump watched the attack on television for hours. Wow. Sitting in the dining room next to the Oval Office, he refused repeated pleas from his family, from his closest advisors, from the most senior officials in his campaign and in our government to tell the mob to leave. And when Donald Trump finally did speak publicly after hours of violence, after the Capitol had been invaded, he praised the rioters. He did not condemn them. That's who Donald Trump is.
That's who Donald Trump is. A violent, sick, and demented person. And Maria, you wanted to give this demon a Nobel Peace Prize? I mean, maybe you don't know who Donald Trump really is, Maria, but maybe Jack Smith can help you. Remember Jack Smith said this?
Whether to prosecute a former president based on the same facts today, I would do so regardless of whether that president was a Republican or a Democrat. Recent narratives about my team's work are false and misleading, including stories about our collection of toll records. Toll records were sought for historical telephone routing information, collected after calls had taken place, identifying the incoming and outgoing call numbers, the time of the calls and their duration. Toll records do not include the content of calls. Those records were lawfully subpoenaed and were relevant to complete a comprehensive investigation. January 6th was an attack on the structure of our democracy in which over 140 heroic law enforcement officers were assaulted.
140 law enforcement officers were assaulted on January 6th, MAGA. And you have the audacity to talk to the Democrats about us being a party of violence? Whoever put that in my comment section, don't talk to me about the summer of love ever again. I don't want to hear it. Because you can't attack that many law enforcement officers and then the president comes in and rewards you by pardoning you. And then you turn around and try to gaslight the American people that the real culprits on January 6th aren't the people who actually beat up the law enforcement officers. It's the people that weren't even a part of it. It's sick. This is sick stuff, MAGA. This is why I say it's the worst thing that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. I've always thought MAGA was bad because they accepted Donald Trump for being a liar. He lied over 30,000 times in his first term. You could go look it up. He's a misogynist. He's a racist, xenophobe, all those things. But then y'all escalated it and y'all became seditionist, treasonous traitors on behalf of Donald Trump. I've read some of the indictments that the J6ers had. In some of them, they would accurately state, I'm here on behalf of Donald Trump. Donald Trump invited us. None of them ever said Nancy Pelosi. None of them ever said BLM or Antifa. None of them ever said I was recruited by the FBI to come and help set up, all of them say Donald Trump invited us here because he told us the election was stolen. He told you, remember? He told you the election was stolen, remember? Hold on. If you don't want to believe it, remember how we all got here. Hold on.
Get out and vote. Do those beautiful absentee ballots, or just make sure your vote gets counted. Make sure, because the only way we're going to lose this election is if the election is rigged. Remember that. It's the only way we're going to lose this election. So we have to be very careful. Now look, this is more than this election. That's a big statement. The only way they're going to win is that way. North Carolina, big victory with North Carolina. And
Remember this?
So we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped.
Oh, remember this?
This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
See how he had you out clapping and cheering for a lie, MAGA? Joe Biden didn't tell you that. That was your dear leader with just a snap of the finger. He convinced you all that he won the 2020 election, despite people in his cabinet, even his own family, his own children telling him, Dad, you lost. Hang it up. But y'all still showed up at the Capitol. You had Marjorie Taylor Greene. I used to call her Marjorie Trader Greene before Trump stole that from me, right? But listen, remember what she said to you?
If we have a sea of people, if we shut down the streets, if we shut down everything, if we flood the Capitol building, flood all the government buildings, go inside. These are public buildings. We own them. We own these buildings. Do you understand that? We own the buildings and we pay all the people that work in the buildings.
Wow. Was that a Democrat right there? Was that a Democrat that I just played?
Irrespective of the indictment, I want the American people to know that I had no right to overturn the election.
That's Mike Pence.
And then on that day, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution. But I chose the Constitution.
That's Mike
and I always will.
Oh.
Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be President of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put themselves over the Constitution should never be President of the United States again.
Wow.
But what the President maintained that day, and frankly has said over and over again over the last 2.5 years, is completely false. I dismissed it out of hand, but sadly the President was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear. And I had hoped that on this matter of January 6th that it wouldn't come to this, because I do believe that this is going to further ignite the divide in the country. It'll be up to the government now to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this actually represented criminal activity. But what I want the American people to know is that I know in my heart of hearts that I did my duty under the Constitution that day.
That's Mike Pence. But could you imagine what Mike Pence was going through?
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
That's Donald Trump encouraging his supporters to go attack our Capitol on January 6th, MAGA. Remember Ashley Babbitt?
Where is everybody? Huh? You got where is Kamala?
Oh.
Where is Kamala? Talking about ISIS like KKK. We got this migrant caravan. You know what? We have thousands of people on the other side of the border. You people can't get to work. Our economy is going to take an absolute tank because you guys refuse to choose America over your stupid political party.
There's an estimated over 3 million people here today. So despite what the media tells you, boots on ground definitely say something different. There is a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue patriots and Trump. And it was amazing to get to see the president talk. We are now walking down the inaugural path to the Capitol building. 3 million plus people.
That's Ashley Babbitt. That was Ashley Babbitt reporting live from the crime scene, MAGA. Your dear leader, he lured you all to the Capitol on January 6th, got you all to commit crimes and throw away your freedom. Some of you lost your life. You beat up law enforcement officers. Not one time have I played Nancy Pelosi. Not one time have I played Nancy Pelosi. Not one time have I played a Democrat or Joe Biden. You see why I say you're the worst of the worst and the scum of the earth? What you did to the Capitol. And then after Donald Trump did all of that, what did he do? He came out and had some words for you.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders.
You are intruders.
America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high. But now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
That's Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, right after committing one of the worst crimes in American history by a sitting president. He tricked you all into showing up at the Capitol on January 6th, only to basically flip the script on you and tell you you're an intruder. He called you intruders, and yet, what did you demons do? Y'all still ran to the voting booth. Y'all ran to the voting booth and voted for him again. That's why I say, I really don't have a problem doing it. What are you going to do, Zeus? Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire. It's so easy to do. That's why I say, y'all don't know what y'all believe in. Y'all keep getting played like a fiddle, and you really do enjoy it. So I enjoy doing this too. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons who voted for Donald Trump again after he called them intruders. Join me in sending them straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
And there's just so much going on right now, especially, I know he's meeting with the Republicans right now, and they're doing a bit of a blitz operation. Right now, we're going into midterms, and they're trying to distract and deflect from what's going on, all the incompetence, all the failure that's going on in the current administration, and it's not going to work. We're going to keep putting pressure on them, all right? So that concludes my monologue, and it is now time to engage those of you who are brave enough to get in the box and tell the truth. Yes, I have to do the backup account because, that other account, I don't know what's going on, but it's amazing. I don't get in trouble on this account, but I get in trouble on my main account, which is weird, but we're going to keep doing what we do. All right. So before I get started, let's see. If you are a Trump voter, go ahead and send Big Zeus a guest request, and what we'll do is we'll get you in here and we'll get you out of here as quick as possible. It doesn't take long. I just want to know why you're still doing it. Why are you still hating your country? Why are you still out here worshiping somebody that you know is bad for the United States and is bad for you? Yeah. January 6th is horrible, Viper. I'm glad you agree. All right, but the thing about it is, we know. Let's see, who do we got? Good morning. Who is this? Let's see. Let's see, who do we have? Hold on. Good morning. Angel. Good morning. How can I help you? Well, Angel, I think we're going to disconnect. Maybe you accidentally sent a guest request. Let's see. Maybe you accidentally sent a guest request. Truffley, good morning. Truffley. Oh my goodness. You see what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? These folks are accidentally sending Big Zeus guest requests. All right. Moving it along. Let's move it along. If you accidentally sent me a guest request, please hop out of the queue. Good morning, Haitian Queen. Good morning. Haitian Queen. Don't worry, I got you. All right. I got you. All right. What I want to do is, where are my critics out there? I have critics out there, that people that say, Zeus, I want to say something to you. Today's your day. You go ahead and get an opportunity to get up here and talk to Big Zeus and explain to us all when you started hating yourself and when you started hating your country. Because that's what all of us really came here to listen to. Why are you out here pretending like you really stand for something when we know you don't? That's the question. Why are you still supporting? No, DJ is hiding right now. DJ knows he's in trouble right now. You all must have scared him. I guess you all must have scared him, but we're going to go ahead and move it along. Good morning, JTA Creations. How are you doing, bro?
What's going on, Zeus?
Not much. Just up here, doing what I normally do. And you?
It's good to be back on TikTok. For those who know who I am and were following me through Zeus.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my main account, for those who don't know, was taken down.
Oh,
And it was permanently shut down. Yeah.
Wow.
It was shut down because they said that I violated an integrity and authenticity violation, and looking into that, they were saying that I was, quote, spreading misinformation. That's the lump sum of it, which, no, I did not.
No, you didn't.
And the only thing that seems logical to me is, if you remember when I was last up here, I had said that there was a certain fellow that was on my page that was stalking it. And I'm not going to mention names.
Don't even, yeah.
TikTok, but... But here we go.
He's a low life.
Clearly, but
like all of them,
it's a shame because there was no need for that, and but I will be putting videos up again, and probably different videos, just so that there's no, quote, reason for them to take me down.
Thank you. All right,
but
thank you. Keep on putting the truth out there. Because they know that you're right. They know that we are right. But they're also
and you know what I think really did it too was I did a video where you, Val, Dr. Lex, and Santana basically jumped Tiny Tank Top, and I guess he didn't like it, but whatever. For those who want to see it, it's on my YouTube, JTA Creations. But what I do want to talk about, since we are remembering what happened January 6th.
Yes.
When I was working at, because down here in Florida, there's a pet store called Pet Supermarket, and at the time I was working there when it happened.
Right.
And I initially, because I was so busy, didn't even know what was going on at the Capitol until like I looked at my phone and I saw chaos. And where I worked at was an area that was very red and very right wing. And if you remember at the time, the mask mandates were still a thing.
Correct.
And you had people coming in that I can't tell you how many times I've heard disgusting things like, oh, this mandate is stupid, people are sheep, Donald Trump, and the people that I worked with were predominantly right wing. And every time I came in, they always had something stupid to say, and I would always try to divert the conversation.
Yeah.
But what was funny to me was when that was happening, and I realized what was going on, everybody was quiet. Why was that? Because they knew that that was their own people. And then the following couple of days, all of a sudden they started to spread the Agent Orange rhetoric. Oh, this was Antifa. This was Joe Biden, blah, blah, blah.
Nancy Pelosi, all the usual suspects, so to speak. Yeah.
But it was like, we all saw the same thing. And it was clear as day. But these people are just so up the crack of Agent Orange, they don't know where left and right is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're in a cult, and they know that every day they don't have a thought of their own. They have to go get it from their dear leader.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, with what happened to Venezuela, I think was disgusting. But I have one burning question. Where's Asler? Where's Asler? That's his country. What happened? Your boy took it down. What's going on, man?
You know what? I have not seen or heard from Asler, which I normally would be a little concerned. But A6. She said ICE custody.
More than likely, because it's like, this is the man that was praising Donald Trump, and he went to your country and commandeered it, my friend. So how are you feeling?
He's on Latino Lives. Okay, they're saying he doesn't come around us. Maybe he's afraid that he'll get reported over here. So he's in he's out there, I guess. So
he's in witness protection.
Maybe,
but
you never know. But I do believe he has to be terrified, because at any moment they could descend upon him and do away with him, and no one would care, right?
Well, yeah, because to them, brown is brown, and it don't matter whether you were born in this country or you got the legal right to live here. To them, you're all the same.
Yeah.
You're like take us Puerto Ricans. We come in many shapes, colors, and sizes, and the moment that they see a shade of dark, you're black. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't care. Yeah. So ICE will come there with their mask, and they don't give two what. But it's ridiculous that what's going on, and these people still follow this orange buffoon. Clearly, you're all a bunch of sheep, and what has happened is we have clowns in the White House. The White House has become a circus. And,
exactly.
I don't know what else more to say, because I would like to say that, not that I would like to say it per se, but I'm shocked. But are we really shocked by the actions of the Orange Man?
No, I'm not. I'm not really shocked, but I'm actually what I am shocked about is how worse MAGA continues to get. In order to defend their dear leader. Like I said, I got a whole laundry list. They're not getting any of the things that they voted for, and they're getting the exact opposite, actually. And you're going, wow, I didn't know you wanted to be Democrats so bad, right? Because everything that Donald Trump does, they'll say, oh, well, Joe Biden, like with Maduro, they'll bring up the Biden indictment. I'm going, oh, okay, so Biden did a good thing indicting him. Well, then why don't you just become a Democrat?
Well, I think that, you have Marjorie Clanbaum, which I think, I don't trust her as far as I could throw her. But a lot of these people who are right-wing, I think we all know it, they're only trying to play sides with the Democrat because they know their time is up. So they're trying to get on our good side as best as possible, but we're not stupid. They're all like spies. Come on, man.
Bingo.
So,
bingo. There you
but
go.
other than that, I'm glad to be back on TikTok.
All right.
I'm gonna be real. Initially, I was like really debating because I was so disgusted about what happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I want to make another one? Do I not? But I've already told like you, Shay, and several people that I'll be back.
Yes.
But here I am.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, JTA. All right.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give JTA a huge round.
But everybody, have a good one, man.
All
Keep
right.
going, Zeus.
All right, you too. All right, well, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our good friend JTA. Make sure you give him a follow. It's sad what TikTok is doing to a lot of these accounts. It really is, but it just goes to show no good deed goes unpunished. Let's go back. Do we have anybody out there still worshiping Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen? If you are a Trump voter, please send Big Zeus a guest request and tell us all why you continue to support this corrupt demon that is running this country straight into the ground. And you know he's running it into the ground. All right? Because if I ask you, what has Donald Trump done for you? None of you can give me a clear answer. Has he lowered your grocery prices? No, he hasn't lowered the grocery prices. And then they try to explain away why they explain why the grocery prices are high. I'm not asking you why my utility bill is high. I could care less. I'm asking you, why is he not delivering on the things that he promised you he would deliver on? And he's delivering on things that you would have an issue with if Joe Biden did. And then all he tells you is, no, we need to invade Venezuela because guess what? There was an indictment about rugs. Okay, well, if there was an indictment about rugs, why is he pardoning Juan Hernando? All right, you can't give us answers. All right, that's a huge W, Zeus. Moving along. All right, let's see. Who do we got right here, ladies and gentlemen? Who do I have right here? Let's see. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Who do we have here? Wow. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. Moving on. Good morning. B to Trump right now. Can we listen to B to Trump? What is there a press conference on, Queen Flea? Good morning, Poetivity. Poetivity, are you here? Oh, Trump is speaking to the lawmakers right now. Oh, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Poetivity, are you there?
These people are a mess. I know it's not nice to say that. These people are a mess. Where did they find these people? They're the worst looking people I've ever seen. They got hats that are all frayed and they look like they're all paid. They don't even know what they're talking. When the reporters don't interview them because they know that it's, the press is so anti. It's hard to believe the press can be so anti because it's all common sense. It's not we're conservative, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're all common sense people. It's not even conservative. It's common sense. But the press has no credibility whatsoever. Wow. Think of it. I got 97% bad stories on one network, 93% on the other, and I won in a landslide. You know what that means? The press has no credibility.
Oh.
That's all it means. And we got to keep it that way. So I don't talk too much about the swimming, the weightlifting, the boxing. I don't talk about it. You know why? I want to start bringing it up about a week before the election. Because I don't want them to correct themselves. I don't want them to say, we've decided that we don't want to have men playing in women's sports. That'd be a devastating blow for us. Because that's, they say it's an 80-20. No. It's about a 98-2 issue. We've decided that we will not have open borders where the entire world, from the Congo, prisons from the Congo, these are extraordinarily tough people. These are people that make our motorcycle gangs look like fine young men. Okay? Our motorcycle gangs are wonderful people by comparison. No, they come in from prisons in the Congo. They come in from prisons from all over the world, but in particular Venezuela. Tren de Aragua comes in, and Tren de Aragua, they say it's the worst gang in the world. It makes our gangs look like little sweethearts. It makes our gangs, you want to take them out to dinner, they're so nice. They cut off the fingers of people. One guy makes a phone call in Colorado. The governor stinks in Colorado. He's no control. So Tren de Aragua, they don't want to do anything about it. So ICE has to go in and take them out because the governor doesn't want to do anything. But they make a phone call. They've taken over my building. The landlord's calling. They took over his building. So the governor doesn't want to do anything. But he calls the police, the guy. They come in. Did you call the police? This is Tren de Aragua. We're talking to the man that owns the building. Did you call the police? Yeah. Boom, they cut off his fingers. If you call him again, the next time your hand comes off. Can you believe it? The guy's walking around, his fingers were cut off. And these are the animals that we're throwing the hell out of here. Washington, D.C. is now the safest city in the country.
What? Wow.
And you people know that better than anybody because you were, I mean, think of it. You're in Congress, you're respected people, you're afraid to walk outside. Washington, D.C. Now, we had a terror attack 4 weeks ago, and one person's looking down from heaven, and the other one is actually recuperating and going to make it, I think, but really badly hurt. Really badly hurt.
Wow.
Most positive mother I've ever. No, my son's going to be fine, sir. The mother was telling me that the night of the attack, I went just like I went to you. I spoke to this incredible woman. Sir, everyone's praying for my son. He's going to be fine. The doctors thought
What is he supposed to be talking about?
Just hoping against hope. There was no chance. And 2 weeks ago, he got up and started walking around. It's amazing, actually. So maybe some really, but it looks like he could be okay. He's just going to have pretty bad after effects. But that was a terrorist attack on people that are doing a great job.
Can anyone come up here on the right and explain what this is all about? I honestly, I'm not in the mode yet where I can process what he is trying to get out, because I am the MAGA whisperer, so to speak. But is there anyone that can come up here and explain what Donald Trump is? Why is he even doing this press conference? Oh, he's doing it to try to distract us all from what happened on January 6th. This is clear as day. It's as clear as day. This is what you do when you're trying to cover up for what you did, which is clearly criminal. And it's worthy of it. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in warming up the lake of fire. I got to do it because Donald Trump is really off his rocker. Someone gave him something. I don't know what they gave him. But it maybe what they gave him came from Venezuela. Because the way he's just rambling and saying weird things makes absolutely no sense, but it's a distraction from what he did on January 6th, and I'm not falling for it. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending Donald Trump straight to hell.
Wow. Silence, you MAGA demon.
I really can't process why it's even important for him to be getting airtime right now. It makes absolutely no sense. Good morning, Huck. Welcome to the show. Huck, are you there? Okay, Huck, you may have accidentally sent me a guest request, but you know what? If you didn't, go ahead and send me another send a request. All right, moving back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'll bring up my good friend Jim. Welcome, Jim.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Better than yesterday.
Okay, well that's good. That's totally
yeah.
good.
Hey, I want to talk about the fact that this speech is so rambling and so lost, and everybody should be recognizing that we, the people, should never forget what occurred 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We, the people, need to be calling Congress, demanding that they do their jobs. He only called the GOP Congress members. He didn't call all of Congress. He only called the GOP members to be at this press conference. Wow. That alone should tell you the problem with this man. But I want everybody to also recognize, as you're listening to press conferences with regard to Venezuela, last night, a blonde pundit on Abby Phillip, I can't even remember her name because she was one of those youngins that nobody knows, was on the show and literally in a heated exchange lost her ever-loving mind and said he abducted the president of Venezuela. Her words exactly. He abducted. She did not say arrested. She did not say, that they detained. She said abducted. Yeah. Last time I checked, when you abduct somebody, you're committing a crime. And this is what the GOP and MAGA represent. True. Is they have fallen lock, stock, and barrel behind corruption and criminality, and they don't care who it harms along the way. Yeah. And you don't have to believe me. Just go Google Abby Phillips show for January 5th and play it yourself and listen to her scream across the table at Bakari and say, he abducted Maduro. Abducted is the word they used. Yeah. They know he's committing crimes. They know he's breaking international law. Mm-hmm. They know he's breaking the Constitution. And yet here you guys are still sitting here going, but Maduro was a bad man. Yeah, well, when you jump from the frying pan into the fire, you're no better. So believe me, when Miss Maria gets up there and she wants to now hand over her Nobel Peace Prize. Let me just tell you, when you lay with dogs, Maria, you catch fleas. Boom. So please go ahead, and I hope you get 1 million bites, because the fact that you want to choose the larger corruption over the one you had just tells me that you're exactly lost. Amen. How any Latina woman can support this man after witnessing the absolute degradation he has spoken against her country, against her language, against her ability to lead now. I mean, he didn't just drive the bus over her. He parked it on top of her, and then he spun out. Yeah. And then he backed up and ran over her again. Yeah.
This is what he does. He does that to every single person that worships him. Isn't it part of his pattern?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about, I couldn't wait for you to be on this morning. Did you see the rabbit dog behavior of Lindsey Graham on that plane? Yeah. The weird smile, the glassy eyes, the almost toddler-esque behavior, like he was about to get a piece of candy if he just said the right
You're nice word. About it. It looked like they just got done doing something that they didn't want us to see. Before he came out and started talking, they're wiping their mouths and stuff like that. I said, what on earth? What were you two doing? Because these are grinding. They crash grinder. They don't want us to know, but that's what they do. No. We're not going to stop telling the truth. No.
It's on national TV. You don't have to believe me. Hey, everybody in here, don't believe me. I say it every live I go into. Don't believe me. Yeah. Google it yourself. Go watch for yourself. Actually use your God-given brain and your ability to watch and listen to the words coming out of their mouths and the giddiness that they have when committing crimes against America, committing crimes against allies, committing crimes against migrants, and actually committing crimes against another criminal. Because here's a little news drop. If you commit a crime while trying to make an arrest, you're still a criminal. You are just as bad, if not worse.
So it doesn't mean you are absolved of your crimes if you go and capture a criminal. It doesn't make you the hero, Jim?
No, it does not. It means that you actually had to break the law to actually enforce law. But this isn't our law. See, the whole purpose of him not being able to travel outside of Venezuela was to hold him accountable, and so that his people would do what they needed to do to take back their country. Yeah. That's what it was supposed to be. We were supposed to support them, kind of like we're supposed to support Ukraine. Oh, wait, how do we do that now when Trump literally just pulled a Putin? Because that's what we're going to call it. He pulled a Putin, right? He went into a foreign country, a sovereign nation, and abducted, Republican words, abducted the president of Venezuela. Yeah. Whether you agree with it or not, because I'm not a Maduro sympathizer.
Neither am I.
But the fact is if you use corruption and criminality to then make a fake arrest, because it wasn't an arrest, it was an abduction per the Republicans.
Yeah. These are your words being used against you.
And so Lindsey Graham, after watching that, went on Fox News. Again, don't believe me. Google it yourself. and literally puts on a hat that says, "Make Iran Great Again." Yeah, sounds real America first, you guys. Sounds real America first.
Explain that, MAGA.
Come on, CD. Come on. I see you putting your little comments in there. Let's talk about taking the slogan about making America great again. And now they're in lock, stock, and barrel with Iran. Let's make Iran great again, he said. Let's make Venezuela. You know why they chose Iran, by the way? Because they couldn't spell Venezuela.
Oh, W Jim right there. ACD, come on, please explain this. Oh, he said he agrees with you.
Oh, look at that. And then it's going to be Colombia, right? He wants to go after Colombia, make Colombia great again.
Wow,
and
dog walking. This is some serious dog walking, W, Jim.
Let's talk about Greenland, shall we? So the United States of America had about 30 military bases on Greenland.
Yeah.
And they shut them all down because they determined Greenland to be useless.
Yeah.
And so there's only one base left on Greenland. And if you look at the location of where Greenland is, first of all, it belongs to the Kingdom of Denmark. For all of you who don't understand why, please also Google that. I don't have time to educate everybody on that. But Google it yourself as to why the Kingdom of Denmark has it. Second of all, make sure you understand the location of Greenland is much closer to what country? Canada.
Oh, yes.
It's in Canada's region, North America region of Canada. If you think for 1 second, if there's an assault on Greenland, that NATO isn't going to get involved, you're sadly mistaken. And the and the people of the UK are already speaking out, and the heads of NATO are already talking. So please, you want to talk about Kamala? You want to talk about Biden and WW3?
Yeah.
This person behind you is creating everything to steal and steal and steal as much as he can, create chaos, unsettle the United States, sell us off to the highest bidders, and then leave us in a path of destruction while they enrich themselves.
You know they're crying right now. I see this knucklehead Noah. He's crying in there. And he's asking, what crimes did Donald Trump commit? Because for some strange reason, Jim, they don't think Donald Trump is a criminal. And they don't understand how he kidnapped Maduro. You know, and they're sitting out here. Noah, I see you. You're more than welcome to send a guest request and get answers to these questions, these riddles. I guess they're riddles to you. But be prepared. Be prepared because we don't play any games anymore. All right, seriously. It's not an arrest. It's a kidnapping, Noah. I don't know where you're getting this information from. When do we just start sending our military into other countries to arrest people? Think about what you're saying, Noah. Sorry, Jim.
I mean, no, don't be sorry. It's your show. Hey, the thing is, we need to start paying attention to what they're actually saying. Because if you didn't bother to watch Stephen Miller yesterday, that was unsettling. That Stephen Miller and his wife are literally going on this little X tour where they're posting stuff. Like, it got like 29.5 million views, right? Of her posting over Greenland and saying soon, within hours of what happened to Venezuela. So if you don't understand that Stephen Miller is involved in this whole process. For those of you who don't know who Joseph Goebbels is, please also Google that. The fact that you don't comprehend the issue that it was cringeworthy. Yes, Melvin, it was not only cringeworthy, the diabolical laugh, the crack with reality, literally kept saying, United States should have Greenland, should. Like, when did we become the country that just takes over every other sovereign nation when we're literally supposed to be known as the protector and provider? Oh, wait, there it is. All you men out there who claim to be protectors and providers, what are you doing towards women these days? What is this administration telling you to do against women these days? Because you're not protecting or providing. You're perpetrating. You're perpetrating on every single one of the women that are on the Epstein files. Let's bring it full circle. Let's bring it full circle back to what we're actually witnessing right now.
Get him, Jim. Thank you for Thank you. Slim Icy, listen up. Noah, listen up.
If you are a girl dad, if you are married, if you have sisters, if you have nieces, if you have cousins, if you have aunties, you are perpetrating against the women and children of your nation, and you are literally helping this administration harm the Constitution and the protections that your children are supposed to have. Their health care is being taken away. Their food is being taken away. Their housing's being taken away. Their education's being taken away. Their civil rights are being taken away. And you voted for it. And I wish we could all just take a really long nap and fast forward 10 years and literally witness the outcome of what has happened to this nation because of you, the people who allowed a known predator and thief to come into the position of power and then lie and steal and degrade and demoralize. You had somebody in your comment section, I don't even know if you saw him. It had like the little chef picture, cook something, cook a
cooking.
monster.
Yeah, he loves to come here and get cooked. W-A-N-J, right? Yeah, cooking is they work for Uber, by the way, Jim.
Oh, that's
no offense against people who do that, but they can't get in the box because every time I go live, they're always working for Uber. But is there anything you would like to say to them?
Yeah, it's funny when people come around and try to use the word fascist against us because we're Antifa, or try to use the word stochastic T, T group.
Yeah.
If you don't know what those things actually mean and you use them against a person who's actually fighting for civil rights and human rights and women's rights, then you just make yourself look like an idiot. So for those of you who also don't know what stochastic T is, go look it up, because the fact that you don't understand it when you use it just makes you look more moronic than even your America First mentality. Because when you do America First mentality, it tells me that you also do not know that wasn't even an American first ideology, that it literally came during the 1940s, if you remember what the 1940s represented. And so if you lock everybody out, guess what else you start doing? You lock everybody in. You're not welcome to travel to other countries.
Bye-bye.
They find out you're an American citizen, you're not going to be taken care of. You're not going to be protected. Wow. You're not going to be the person you think you are. And so America better get ready, because what the man behind you has actually done has made the stage of loneliness really, really big for American citizens. You're going to start seeing aggravation and worse start happening on a level that you've never seen before, because we're not trusted anymore.
Wow.
On the world stage, we have literally lost our footing as being the protectors, as being a global superpower. And why did I choose that word? Because that's what Joseph Goebbels, excuse me, I did it again. Stephen Miller said yesterday.
Oh, go ahead, get him.
Yeah. Stephen Miller actually said we're a superpower yesterday. And what Stephen Miller failed to understand is you're only as super as what the world sees you as. And the moment you lose that, there's nothing super about you except foolish.
Wow.
You're super foolish, because once you're alone and you have nobody to have your six, those daggers get really, really sharp, and they come really, really fast.
Wow.
Really, really fast.
You know what's so interesting? Representative Eric Swalwell, he goes on to Grok yesterday, and he says, hey, Grok, who is a past world leader who invaded all the countries around him, and how did it end for that country? And do you know what the answer was?
It wasn't Venezuela.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It actually turned around and said it was the Mustache Man. So W to Grok. And you know what's so sad? The Trump voters started complaining that Grok was calling Donald Trump the Mustache Man. Isn't that funny? It's so funny. Because they thought it was just the Democrats, but now they realize that even Grok knows that Donald Trump basically is doing the same thing as the Mustache Man. And you know how that ended for the Mustache Man, right? It didn't end well, did it?
It did not.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that NATO's already saying, this is the thing that amazes me, is we think that the United States is this is the arrogance of the United States, by the way, that we've seen for decades upon decades.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There are like 89 countries around the world. There may be a little bit more. I may be off on my number, but we're one. We're only one country. And we're not the biggest. And we don't have the most people.
That part.
So let that sink in, that when you lose your footing, when you slide off the map of superpower, you just look super ridiculous. Thank you, 194 countries. So this is the thing. We have to start recognizing that we are only as good as our support system. And this idea that being independent is the way to go is wrong. It is the interdependence that people and communities and countries and connections have that make all the difference in the world. And when you lack humanity, when you lack civility, when you lack the ability to care for your neighbors and your brothers and sisters as yourself, you will be left alone. And starvation and degradation will come your way. Now, mind you, we could probably do like a 5-year moratorium. We could probably do that. And then what? Then who protects us? Who protects us from those who come for us?
The Trump voters, because the MAGA will be putting their boots on the ground for Donald Trump, so they should be the ones protecting us, right?
There it is. There it is. Because you know who's going to implement a draft? This administration.
Oh.
It would be this administration. So where are you? I mean, I just want to know, if there are Trump supporters in here right now, where are you with contacting your Republican Congress members and demanding that they stand up against the Venezuela interception where we're going to run Venezuela?
There will be a draft, Titan, please.
There will.
Yeah, and we need you all to get suited and booted, so to speak, and get out here and start protecting us, all right? Seriously, because we need you to protect this country.
Oh, look, there's one. Slim, he says, I'm Trump and veteran. Let's go. You can't even put a sentence together, my friend.
Yeah, they don't want to do it, Jim. They don't want to do it.
But you go ahead and lace up your boots. That's one. Good luck, because I'm going to tell you, most of the people that they put out of the military, most of the generals and the admirals that they fired, most of the people are going to take a stand against this administration. The true veterans that swore an oath to the Constitution, those are the people who serve the nation and not one man.
Yeah.
All you men, do you find it ironic, all the men that literally go around and all they do is put Trump in their mouth, Trump on their clothes, Trump on their... Did you catch what I was doing there?
Yeah, I see Rudy, all of them. Slim Icy, Titan, all of them have Trump in their mouth. It's gross. It's really, to me, it screams a lot of things, but it makes sense when they all crash Grinder together.
I remember back in the day that a surname meant something. Like it literally meant something. Like you literally had your surname for a reason because it was your name. It's what set you. It's what set you aside from other men, right?
Yeah.
That's why you were called Mr. Smith or Mr. Jones or Mr. Bernal. Yeah, you literally represented your family with your integrity and your honor and your strength and your ability to provide. But no, all of you guys are talking about Trump. Like you put Trump's picture in your profiles, you paint your trucks.
Yeah.
You put these giant Trump
We've
flags.
seen them. They drive their big black trucks so they think the black makes them look bigger. I mean, these people are sick. And none of us are falling for it. None of us fall for that nonsense. Hey, Noah, send Jim a guest request, and you can go ahead. I'll let you and Jim have it out, all right, if Jim's willing to. But all that stuff you're doing in the comments section, it's really childish. You would think these folks who brand themselves as alphas would have the courage to get up here and explain themselves, because they can't type. They can't speak clear sentences in the comments section, but that's what they like to do.
Who truly hates America? The people who are fighting for the civil rights of Americans, the people fighting for the healthcare for Americans, the people fighting for the education of American children, the people fighting for the taxpayers to actually get back what they put into the system, where the actual programs serve the American people? Or would that be the MAGA GOP literally robbing the American people blind? Because no, I hate to inform you, my friend, unless you're wealthy, you're in the same boat I am, the same boat Zeus is. So I'm sorry, but you literally are sadly mistaken about how this works in this country. most of the things most of the things that you benefit from came from Democratic policies. People who actually cared about the American people.
Yeah.
People who believed in science and math and public safety. Those all were Democrat policies. Because every single time a Republican is in office, we see nothing but economic drops, stagnation, job loss, racism, misogyny, and actually a demoralization of our entire nation. And that's not, again, something I said. Go look it up yourself.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys have failed yourselves and you support a man who's literally bragged about becoming a billionaire by abusing the office of the President of the United States, the people's house, to enrich himself and his family, you are the weakest links. You are the chain that's going to break. And when you break, I hope you sink straight into the Pacific Ocean where you belong, where all the rotten ships are just decaying into nothingness. Because that's the thing.
Amen, amen, amen. Jim, you cooked them. You cooked and booked, Jim. I think you cooked and booked better than a lot of the days that I do. So it's an honor. It's really an honor because you get them so worked up, and then they never have the courage to get up here and speak to you. But last week you got an apology, so that lets me know you're very clever, and they know you're right. But Noah, you've been cooked. Titan, you've been cooked. Slim Icy, I don't even think Slim Icy is around, and the list just goes on, all right? And you've done an outstanding job. I got to give it to you, all right, Lazy? I'll ask, let's laugh. Where are the Trump voters at? Anybody still worshiping Donald Trump, put a 1 in the chat, and what I'll do is I'll give you an opportunity of a lifetime to speak to my wonderful friend, Jim, because if she's wrong, I would like to know. Wouldn't we all like to know if Jim is wrong? Oh, someone said they're on Grindr. Hey, Jim. Oh, well, Silky Slim said he put a 1 in the chat for you. Come on up here.
Before I do leave, I do want to remind everybody that on January 6th, over 140 law enforcement officers held that building. They protected Congress. And I want to remind everybody the name of Eugene Goodman. If you don't know who Eugene Goodman is, he literally had the domestic tea group follow him away from the halls of Congress so that Congress had time to get away. Those are American heroes. Those are patriots. Those are the people who serve your nation, who put on the uniform and they don't put the bad in the badge. They wear it with integrity and honor and serve their nation. Those are the people you should be talking about and lifting up to the highest echelon. Those are the people who deserve recognition and honor. And if you are still supporting this administration after what you witnessed 5 years ago, the problem doesn't lie with anyone but yourselves. And the fact that you are sitting up here today still denying what the entire world witnessed on January 6, 2021. And let me remind you who was still president that day. It was this man behind Deuce. He was the president. He was the one responsible for DC National Guard. He was the one who sat there salivating as he encouraged the attack on Congress and his own vice president of the United States of America. So please, miss me with your condemnation of any Democrat, because the truth of the matter is you supported corruption to the nth degree the first time, and now you're watching it as it takes your nation down to its knees. Amen. You better hope and pray. You better hope and pray that we are able to recover the democracy, because it was ours to lose. Did you notice I didn't say mine? Yeah. I said ours, because even those of you who are MAGA are still Americans, and you have a moment in time right here, right now, to pick yourselves up and to fight back against this degradation and this demoralization of our nation. You have that opportunity now.
Wow, Jim, you're kind for that. You called them. You said they're still American. I need to go fact check that.
Sadly.
Oh, that really hurts me to have. Because they're un-American.
Remember,
un-American, though.
You're right. But they are American, and here's the difference between them and us. Here's the difference. We actually identify all Americans, and when we vote, We vote for every American to have equality under the Constitution. We vote for every American child to have access to health care. We vote for every American child to have access to education. While they vote to take it away from some of us, we vote to keep it for all of us, the American people, the way the Constitution was written. We the people for the people of the United States of America.
Amen. Amen. Fair enough.
Can I get an amen? Can
Amen.
I get an amen?
Thank you, Jim. You really helped out. I mean, but it's always truthful. Seriously. All right.
You can drop it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give the beautiful Jim a huge round of applause. I gotta give it to you. It's incredible when you and I combine forces like that. But obviously, I gotta give it to you. Wow,
it's because of you.
Oh, I'm so sorry I dropped you, but you get it, ladies and gentlemen. Give her a round of applause. And she just does an outstanding job dog walking Trump voters and getting them triggered. And you just got to acknowledge, it is what it is. And while she's doing that, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, he is still going on and on. He's still, while Jim was up here speaking truth to light, so to speak, the demon was still, he's like a snake charmer in a way. He's like a snake charmer, right? Let's see what he's talking about, for instance.
Jim went to high school. As in high school, he was considered like the top wrestler. But he was undefeated in high school. Now, what that means is that as a freshman, he was beating seniors. Is that true? Were you actually undefeated? Seriously, were you undefeated in high school? That means as a freshman, he had to beat seniors, Steve. Nobody could, because there's such a difference between a freshman and a senior. To me, that's more impressive than anything. But I'm also impressed with his fight. Now we have to close the deal, Jim. We got to close the deal. Close that deal. But
we were listening to real sane, coherent sentences when Jim came up here. And then I just hit play. That's the President of the United States of America saying, breaking news. There's a difference between freshman and sophomore. Did you know that, MAGA? But I guess it makes sense when you come to the conclusion that a lot of his voters didn't even graduate high school. So that's breaking news, all right? He knows his borders. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. You can't make this up. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Stuff up. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. And that was for you, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, because we know you didn't make it that far. We know you didn't. All right, let's move it along. Oh my goodness, who do we have next? Who do we have next? Oh, that's interesting. Zena, you sent Big Zeus a guest request. Zena, welcome. Zena. Good morning, Zena. How are you?
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, Zena.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I got you out of here. All right, that's W. Zena. She always takes care of all of us. Thank you, Zena. Yeah, you might want to double check. Hey, Noah, did you want to come up here and talk to just me, maybe? Because I get it. Jim could be very intimidating to the weak male species. That's what I call you. I don't call you human beings anymore, Mag. I call you creatures. Where are the Trump voters at, ladies and gentlemen? Do you need us to explain the difference between sophomore and freshman? Because we can do that too, MAGA. I mean, could you imagine? These are the people going into the voting booth, literally hitting the self-destruct button. That's what it's like when MAGA goes into the voting booth. They go in, 3, 2, 1, this self-destruct, and then they check Donald Trump, and it's basically it's the end world. All right, let me go to the box. I'm trying to be fair because they say, "Oh, Zeus, you run an echo chamber, all right?" And I don't want to run an echo chamber, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't. All right, I want to make it as fair as possible. All right, I really do. Who do I have next? If Trump is a rambling fault, okay, yeah, okay, fair enough. Moving along. Who do I? Let's see. Let's see, who do we have next? Good morning. As you all can see, I'm trying to be as fair as possible, and bring up some opposition that could possibly help us understand what's going on. Good morning, Victor. Victor, accident. Gotcha. Don't worry, Victor. We got you. All right. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Accident. All right. Let's see. Who do I have next? If you may have accidentally sent a guest request by tapping on the screen. So please, ladies and gentlemen, double check to see if you've accidentally sent me a guest request. All right. I don't want to bring you up here if you don't want to come up here, and then we might end up hearing you, or we might hear you doing something you don't want us to hear you. Coven, welcome. Coven.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. It was Edit King. Good morning. Edit King, are you there? Edit King.
Hello.
Oh, you don't sound old enough. There you go. But I don't think you're old enough. Sorry, Edit King. All right, you got to be old enough. All right, let's move it along. Let's bring up Poetivity. Poetivity, are you there this time? Welcome to the show.
I am. It's the funniest thing, Zeus. Like I request sometimes with you, and I have a best friend, and my best friend calls always during the middle of your show.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's because of the timing. I get up. I'm up pretty early, and a lot of people are doing so many things, and so that makes sense that they'll try to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So anyway,
it's okay.
yeah. So I love that what just Jem was saying, and I love what you're saying about January 6th. And I have been just like fascinated with what's going on in our society and where does it lead. And I actually, like, going back in history, you can find, he's following the pattern of a certain dictator, but if you go back even further, Zeus, and you go back to the war between the Athenians and Sparta won that war, and Sparta's creed at that time was like might makes right. So the stronger you are, so their society was totally built around warriorism, right?
Yeah.
And the Athenians were like the Democrats, where the society was built around education and society and civility, and so the Athenians lost that war. And what ended up happening after that was Socrates ended up taking to the streets and asking questions. That was like the whole thing that Plato recorded in his dialogues. And where I'm going with this is that Plato led eventually to Aristotle. And Aristotle had a theory. So picture for yourself 3 melons. So a watermelon, a cantaloupe, and a grape, right? Or 3 pieces of fruit. Aristotle's idea was that for every virtue, say truth, loyalty, kindness, whatever, you had the golden mean, which is the melon in the middle, the cantaloupe. And that's the perfect place to be with any virtue. But anytime a society goes one side or the other, a grape or a watermelon, what you have is societal chaos.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about the virtue of loyalty, what we have with Trump supporters is they have gone to the watermelon of loyalty.
Wow.
And what that means is that there is no accountability. They don't hold their leader accountable. They don't look at him as somebody that needs to be either removed or put in based on his behavior. Right. They are just over, and what that creates is societal chaos. And so really they need to re-examine where they are in the loyalty towards Donald Trump, and the loyalty towards the Constitution is now a grape for them. So what we have is societal chaos because of their inability to regulate their own loyalty.
How did they get to this place, Poetivity? How did they get to a place?
They got to this place from misinformation. And so I would say when it comes to honesty, Fox News went the place of the grape. for years, like 20 years. They were poisoning them, saying the Democrats are. I remember being in a hotel room.
Yeah.
This was way before, this was when Obama was president. And I turned on the TV, and then I turned around and started to unpack my suitcase. And on the TV, I didn't know what channel it was on or what was happening. But on the TV, I heard the person who was on there say, "You guys better start stocking up on pew-pews because Obama is coming for your pew-pews."
Oh, I remember that.
And I was like, yeah, I turned around and I was like, what channel is this? And it has a little brainwashing technique that Fox News uses, where in the corner, always, no matter what's on the television, it says Fox News.
Yeah.
And we as people, when we see the word news, we think, oh, this is true reporting. So they named their channel that, and no matter who's talking and no matter how many lies they're telling, people are absorbing it as news. And so for 20 years, they had the grape towards truth. Like they were not telling the truth. They were totally dishonest.
Wow.
And that led to this watermelon of loyalty towards Donald Trump, which means that we are in complete societal chaos and breakdown because nobody is saying we need just this much virtue on these things. You know, we need this much truth, this much honesty, this much, you know.
Yeah. Wow. W positivity. So they're a bunch of watermelon eating, loyal. They're really just, to me, sick people. And you're saying as long as they continue to eat this watermelon, they don't have the ability to basically self-correct, right?
Well, what they don't do is they don't hold Donald Trump accountable for anything they do. They just trust him because they're so loyal to him that they think, oh, he must know what he's doing, even though it looks bad, even though I don't like it, even though it seems like it might be bad. I'm going to go ahead and trust him because I'm that loyal to him instead of holding him accountable.
Yeah.
The cantaloupe in the middle for loyalty and trust, two virtues, would say, I'm gonna distrust everybody with power just a little bit. I'm gonna distrust everybody with money just a little bit. I'm gonna distrust anybody with a history like that just a little bit, enough to hold them accountable if I really see them go off the rocker.
Yeah.
And what you see with the Donald Trump supporters is they're all in. They trust him implicitly. They let him do whatever he wants. They are completely loyal to him and will even put their lives on the line to protect him, no matter how bad he is for our society. And that is why we have this corruption.
Wow. W positivity, you're right. They love the corruption, though. I'll be honest with you. As long as Donald Trump is the one doing it, and he's committing the crime, they love it. They even love the fact that he's in the Epstein files. You know that?
Well, they don't love that he's in the Epstein files, but their loyalty is so hard to him, and their trust of him is so hard. Like they've taken trust, the virtue of trust, all the way to the watermelon for Donald Trump, and they have taken their loyalty all the way to the watermelon. And so what they believe is that his name may be in there, but he's not nefarious in it.
Well, I only say that is because I follow, there's a couple of places, but I see these reports, and it's the same usual suspects. White dude does something to children. They've been nabbed by the police. This is happening especially like in the South and stuff like that. And they're Trump voters. And I think we live in a sick country, right? We're in a sick country. There are folks who really are into that.
Yeah, well, that's what Aristotle and Socrates and Plato were trying to suss out after they lost that war. They were like, why did we lose? And what makes a good society? That was the whole question.
Yeah.
And so they began to examine those questions. And that's really where we are now, Zeus. We really are at the point where we have to say, okay, so you guys want to tear everything down. That's obvious. You want to tear NATO down. You want to tear the UN down. You want to take over countries. You want to do all these terrible things.
Yeah.
And most of us are like, we don't think that makes a good society. Well, do you have to have virtue? Do you have to have honesty? Do you have to have a good person in charge? Because because right now, to me, it looks like we have a P3DO in charge. We have a man who is dishonest in money constantly. We have a man drunk on his own power. And when we have a person like that in charge, what is he going to do to the rule of law? He's going to tear it down, because he doesn't like it. It's never been convenient for him. It has landed him in court. It has cost him millions to billions of dollars, and it has limited his ability to just steal things, which he loves to do, and what he's doing right now. So if it were up to him, he would be an anarchist, and he would also be a hedonist. Our entire society would be based on the pursuit of pleasure, no matter who it runs over, no matter who it hurts, no matter what. As long as you are the stronger one, you get to do whatever you want to do, meaning dominate children and have, intercourse with them. And it's like,
and that's sick.
That's a gross society. That's not a society I want to participate in.
And I won't participate in it. And that's why it's very important we keep doing wonderful shows like this, getting the word out and making sure these demons understand we do have lines in the sands and we will not cross it.
Yeah, I think stealing is wrong. And I think that being honest is good. And I think having a certain amount of distrust for all people with power is good. And I think holding people accountable is good. And I think that we need to seriously try and engage with them and say, what kind of society are you trying to create when you put this type of person in charge?
Yeah.
Because it's just chaos that you're creating.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're going to try to engage them, all right, Poetivity, and I got to say thank you for coming up here honestly and telling the truth and shaming the devil.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me up, and I'm sorry I was on the phone earlier.
No apology needed. We got you. All right.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Poetivity, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give her a huge round of applause. No lies detected. Jay Willie, if you're at work, Jay Willie, then why are you in the comments section worshiping Donald Trump? Hey, Rick, did you mean to send me a guest request, Brother Rick? All right, because I don't think you did. You're in my guest request. Okay, good morning, Kabira. How are you?
I'm all right. Good morning, Zeus. Good morning, gang.
Good morning.
I just want to do a public service announcement, Zeus, and you can drop me back.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, guys. We enjoy Zeus's lives every morning. He gives us good information, and it's the way he puts out his information. You can tell he reads and everything else to give us this information. So the only thing I ask is that if you're enjoying the live, which you do, because a lot of us are here every day, even newcomers, let's tap the screen. We enjoy his lives. It's up to you, but let's gift the host. We like to gift him during the end. However, during his lives, let's gift him through the live. Even MAGA, because if you didn't enjoy his live, MAGA, you wouldn't be back every day. You wouldn't be commenting. So let's tap his live, let's push it out, and let's enjoy the rest of the show. That's all I got, Julie.
Okay, all right. W's in the chat for Kabira. Wow. And not just me, though, honestly. The panelists like yourself, y'all come up here and y'all contribute. I try to do that wherever I go as well. It's not required, though, but thank you.
You're welcome. And my fingers, I'm tapping away here, Zeus.
All right, but make
Come
sure
on,
you're not
guys.
tapping and sending the request. Sometimes people tap and they put a request in, too, so they got to be careful about that. All right? But thank you, sis. I appreciate it. There we go. Wow. There you go. I got to give it to Kabira. No lies detected. Okay, so let's go. We got a little bit of time left. Do we have any Trump voters out there that want to get up here and push back against any of the stuff or any of the knowledge that they've heard on the show? Thank you all for all the support. I really do appreciate it. I don't say anything about it, but it doesn't mean I don't value. All right, let's move on to the next panelist. Who do we have next? Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. All right, welcome to the show, my good friend, Brother Nutty. Oh, you want to come in like that?
I just want to remind people that he's on the list.
Yeah. Oh.
With all the distractions that are going on.
Yeah.
It's for one purpose and one purpose only. To hide the list. He's on the list, y'all.
Wow.
So we can talk about everything that's going on. We can talk about Venezuela until we're blue in the face.
Yeah, you're not distracted, I see.
But he's on the list. So you can go to page 181, page 15, page 147, all in Project 2025. And you will see the plan for Venezuela.
Yeah.
All through Project 2025. Do not be distracted. See, if I say we, because I'm talking collectively.
Not us, Dane.
If we had read Project 2025, we wouldn't be allowing the distraction.
Yeah.
Because we would understand that this was in Project 2025. So, with that being said, Zeus, I've said everything I needed to say unless you have questions. I just wanted to remind the kingdom that he's in the freaking list.
W, Nutty. Well, Nutty, since you're up here, you say he's in the list. Why do you think his supporters, and there's a brother in here who said you are on the list, Brother Dame, and it's so amazing. I guess you woke him up. But why do you think they don't care about him being on that list right now?
Because it goes against everything that they stand for, which is, we know they don't stand for anything because they fall for everything. That will make them, in their eyes, which they are correct, it will make them look like the fools that they are. Because how many years have we been screaming that he's in the list?
Yeah.
He's on the list. He's in the list. So is Pam Bondi, by the way. So is Pam Bondi. And then the retort will be, well, so is Bill Clinton. Okay, and we know this.
Joe Biden.
I guarantee you Joe Biden is not on the list.
Well, why didn't Joe Biden do anything about it?
Oh, pretty much how...
See, I caught you?
Yeah, you got me there. You got me. But the reason why Joe Biden didn't release the list is that you all are actually using the same thing that we were saying when Joe Biden was in the White House. He cannot release something that's actively being, what, Zeus? Investigated?
Oh, by the corrupt judges.
So now Bondi is going to investigate this. So that's going to be their reasoning for not releasing the list.
Wow. I got to say this. You brought this up. There's some news that came out yesterday. I don't know if you followed it about that list, by the way, but they're saying that the DOJ is they're saying that they can't release the information because only 1% of the information. This is what they say. According to sources, it says the Department of Justice says that it's reviewed less than 1% of the Epstein files in preparation for the release, with only 12,000 documents having been released of more than 2 million. So that's why they can't fulfill the releasing of information, because they've only reviewed 1%.
Who cares? What does the law state? The law stated that they needed to give a reason by January 3rd about the redactions. What happened on January 3rd, Zeus?
They skipped that deadline like they skipped the deadline on December 19th. They don't feel they need to follow the law.
No, but Zeus, what happened on January 3rd?
Oh, in Venezuela, the distraction.
They are doing everything in their powers. And notice, everyone has shifted the narrative to Venezuela, and they're forgetting that January 3rd was the deadline for the DOJ to account for the redactions.
He's not lying. He's telling the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Trust
me. There
are
deadlines. I mean, follow the deadlines and we say follow the money, also follow the deadlines. Any deadline a court puts into place.
It's not a coincidence, Mike.
Exactly. There's nothing new under the sun, Mike. Any deadline that the courts put into place, watch and see when something else will happen that's going to take over the news.
Yeah.
With this administration.
I'm with you. You're right.
Excuse me, I misspoke. With this regime.
Oh. Thank you.
And Canada, if you're listening, we have a regime change that we need here in the United States. Will you please encroach our borders? And here's the thing, Canada, if you're listening, we have hundreds of millions, and yes, I said hundreds of millions of U.S. citizens that will help you.
You wouldn't be okay with Canada basically kidnapping our president, Nutty. Come on now, you wouldn't do that.
With this regime, yeah, I would be. Would it be right? No, it won't be right. But you know what? I will stand in the streets and cheer it. Because there's the other talking point, Zeus. Because they will get up in your live and say, "Oh, Venezuelans are happy. They're celebrating this." Two things can be true at the same time, right, brother?
Wow. Yeah.
Two things can be true at the same time. Although, and albeit, that if Canada did such a thing, or even Mexico, because the president of Mexico
can have them. Wow.
Because she's got some balls.
Yeah.
And I love her. I love her. I wish she was our president. If the Mexican president came and did a regime change here, yes, it would still be wrong. And yes, I would still be in the streets celebrating that she rid America of our regime. Wow. But yes, it would still be wrong.
Wow. That's deep. That he must have really made you very angry and upset, Nutty. And I don't have any pushback for it if it did happen. And and you say, well, is it wrong? I'd agree it's wrong. But is he a criminal?
But would you not celebrate that another country liberated? Because they love to use the word liberated.
Yeah, I would love to be liberated from
that. Another country liberated the United States of America from its dictator wannabe in chief.
Yeah. That wouldn't bother me, to be honest with you.
And Canada, if you did it, I would stand proudly and sing, "Oh, Canada, my new home and native land." I would proudly sing, "Oh, Canada."
Oh, W Nutty.
So that's it.
Do we all agree with Brother Nutty up in here? Do we all agree with Nutty in this audience right now that it's okay if another... Because if we're using the same conditions that Donald Trump used to justify doing what he's done, then it's like he opened up the door for that to start happening all over the world, right? All right, well, they agree.
I mean, that's it.
Come take the MAGA. They said come take MAGA too. Putin, come get your new followers.
Zeus, we can deal with MAGA. I can't deal with Blaga, so take Blaga.
All right, fair enough.
You can take Blaga and just leave MAGA. We know how to deal with MAGA. We're still trying to learn how to deal with Blaga.
Fair enough.
So take Blaga. But that's it. That's all. That's all I got to say. Thank you for letting me up.
All right, W Nutty. No lies ejected. Please take MAGA and Blaga. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sad thing going on in this country, ladies and gentlemen. When you're a Trump voter and you do not get any kind of respect, people don't have any care. They look at MAGA and they go, "You're the worst of the worst, and you are the scum of the earth." Good morning, Shay. How are you doing?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Oh
my goodness. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I think I may have interrupted you.
Oh no, I think we were. No, you're good. You're good, my friend. Go ahead.
No,
oh my gosh.
The floor is yours.
I'm sorry. I'm losing my vocabulary at this point. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like you're going a little nuts at this point? Anybody in the chat?
Yeah.
Do you feel like
I do because I sit back and I say everything they did it. No, they're not getting what they voted for. They're actually getting the exact opposite, and they're saying they're happy for it. And every time you say, well, why are you okay with, let's just say Venezuela, they'll bring up Joe Biden. Right?
Yeah.
And you're like, so you support Joe Biden?
Right. That part. I mean, we used to debate with them all the time and said, we are not against deportations. We are for strong borders.
Yeah.
Like the debates that were constantly going, Obama was called deporter in chief. Right?
You like Obama?
Well, yeah.
They're basically, it's like they're the Democrat rejects. I think that's what they couldn't make it as Democrats. But they loved the things the Democrats did, so they went over and voted for a felon, a convicted felon, Epstein's best friend, someone who committed an insurrection, and said, we're going to take the Democrats' policies over to here and implement them.
Right. And he said today, which is the weirdest press conference. He said today that if the Democrats say that they no longer support men and women's sports, we would lose the election. Did you notice he said that?
Yeah, I heard him bring that up.
Okay, so my question to Dame and many of the MAGA idiots, so is it that easy?
Oh, wow. It's that easy. I mean,
Is it that easy?
Wow.
Like, do you realize that your own guy that you voted for knows you are manipulative, or you can be manipulated, right? And you can be fooled.
This is sad.
So easy that all we got to do is change the narrative and they will win. That because they know you are not voting on policy.
Emotion. It's 100%.
It's all emotion. And do you notice we get all this all the time? You know, Lion Lou, like, oh, you're so emotional. You're just emotion. That's all y'all vote on is emotion because we care about people. And so you're going to say we're emotional? No, we didn't vote for the liar in chief.
No.
We didn't fall for the okey doke.
I sure didn't.
We sure as heck don't, worry about some, boogeyman in the corner and fall for the lies and they're gonna come get you. They're coming across the border, gonna come get you. There's some man in a dress gonna take your little 5-year-old beautiful blonde child. Like all this rhetoric.
And you know what's so funny? The black folks, they vote for the guy. They vote for this guy Donald Trump so that they can try to get snow bunnies. I've uncovered this. They want snow bunny access, and they don't understand that the parents of the snow bunnies don't like them.
Right.
And they're setting themselves up to be locked up.
Yeah.
In prison.
Yes.
Y'all really love jail that much?
They must. They love criminals. Do you realize of the 1,500 that were pardoned, do you know how many have been reconvicted about other crimes and put back in jail out of all those? Do you know how many? 33.
Wow.
33 have been reconvicted on other crimes and put back in jail of the ones that were pardoned by Trump.
Wow.
They're criminals that attacked the Capitol. They were looking for an excuse to create havoc, but yet you guys want to talk about the summer of love.
They got nothing. They got nobody. They got nothing.
Right. These are people protesting. These are people standing for justice and trying to get people rights and standing against the systematic racism of cops.
Yeah.
They at least were doing something, fighting for something.
It wasn't mostly peaceful. There was over 2,500 folks in there assaulting the Capitol, 140 law enforcement officers that were assaulted. And you said that was I'd hate to see what was mostly violent.
Right.
If that was mostly peaceful, what would you consider mostly violent?
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Oh no, we will never forget January 6th because I will never wrap my head around how that man won an election after that. I will never wrap my head around it. But it's the fear mongering. They run on fear mongering, right? They're labeling Maduro as Cartel de las Soles in the indictment. Yeah, there's no such cartel, no such thing. It's a fake made up thing. So much so that they had to change that in the indictment. He's not part of a cartel. He's not a leader of a cartel, right?
They would have been better off, Shay. Yeah. If they would have been better off selling it this way, if they would have said, listen, we're going to go get Maduro because he's going to give us access to the networks going on with the cartels, with Iran and China and stuff like that. So it's a matter of national security. I would have been like, you know what? It makes sense then. But, and then I would have probably said, that makes a lot of sense. But they won't say that. They'll say something like, oh, we're getting him for rugs and machine things that, boom, boom. And you're sitting there going, that's it? Meanwhile, you have those 1,600 demons he pardoned on January 6th did a lot worse than that.
Absolutely.
And he won't release any of the information about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And I would ask you, Shay, who's worse? What's worse? And what do you think is more of an issue, the Ruggs or Epstein?
I mean, they're both bad and for different reasons, right? I mean, oh,
but the people
can we
in the
do
United
both? Like,
well, I say this:
can
the
we
people in the
convict
United
him?
States,
Yeah.
they take the rug, so they're kind of.
Well, I get what you're saying. It's voluntary, right?
Yeah.
That's voluntary, correct.
You're taking, but
So
these
I would say
girls,
Epstein, sure.
the girls, they're not volunteering to do any of this stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no. You're 100%. I apologize.
Because I know the culture a little bit.
I see what you're saying
they,
now.
They rap about it. They talk about doing this and that.
Yeah.
Kids want to rebel against their parents. This is stuff, and some of it's natural. Like, I mean, you get it. But
sure.
What's going on with these girls, with Epstein and Donald Trump, and the fact that he's breaking the law of the land?
Right.
How can a person enforce laws when they are breaking the law at the same time?
It can't happen. And he's protecting his friends. He told that to Marjorie Taylor Greene. My friends will get hurt. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about young ladies. He doesn't care about sex trafficking.
Nope.
Although you guys keep saying, he was the only one to pass the laws to help against. Come on, stop. The guy was part of one of the biggest sex trafficking rings. He knew about it. There's a whole letter in some of the files, that an email that Jeffrey Epstein wrote, I think in 2018, that he said he knew about it. He knew I was having parties. He knew all of it. He knew all of it. And that's the thing we keep saying to you guys. He's not innocent in this. That's why they keep covering it up. They admitted that they've only released 1% of the files. They've had a year to do this. They ran on doing it. And they keep saying he never ran on doing. Yes, he did. The MAGA did. Your podcasters did. And they kept saying you need to be transparent. And he said he would. Now, he danced around releasing it because he's always been part of the cover up, right?
Yeah.
But the MAGA movement was absolutely about, sex trafficking and stopping this. And they ran on all this stuff and they wanted the transparency because they think that it's all Democrats in the files, right?
They thought that.
And now that, a lot of this is coming out, they're kind of like, oh, no, never mind. No, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's not. No, close that right back up. No. Trump's name is in it 1,500 times. And I would love for Nicole and Kimmy to come up here and tell me what I lie about.
Who said that?
Oh, Nicole and Kimmy are in there going, she's always lying.
I don't know who
didn't
Nicole
lie.
is, but I know Kimmy.
Nicole has 2 followers. I mean, little new to the bunch. But
tell your dad happy birthday, Yazzie Jazzy. Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But Kimmy.
Just because you don't like what I'm saying doesn't mean I'm lying. That's how that works. That's how that works.
It really saddens me when I hear, especially the conservative women species, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because they know deep in their souls what's going on is wrong. Whether it's the Venezuela thing, because if I were to ask Kimmy, hey Kimmy, do you want to send your offspring to Venezuela to protect my new oil supply? I know Kimmy would say, no, I don't want my offspring to go to Venezuela. Hey.
Of course not.
Kimmy, do you want to send your children to hang out with Epstein?
Alter ego. He was known as a conservative.
You wouldn't do it.
What are you talking about? Alter ego. Why don't you go read a book about Martin Luther King Jr.? I don't have time to educate you about Martin Luther King Jr. Most black people in those days were Republicans. They were conservative. He was a Baptist reverend, for freak's sake. Are you okay with yourself? He was a preacher. You can go to Atlanta and go to the Ebenezer Baptist Church where he preached along with his father. Then you can walk right up the street to where the house he grew up in. And then across the street from all that is, of course, the amazing Civil Rights Museum.
Yeah, why is he
and his grave. Like, what? Are you okay? Don't try to educate me about Martin Luther King Jr. when you've never walked in his footsteps. You've never gone to see his grave. You've never read a book about him. He absolutely, most of them were conservative. Most black people know this about the community.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know why they want to bring
But then he voted for LBJ. He voted for LBJ in 1964 because of the passing of the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah.
And the support of the JFK LBJ administration in getting, their rights to vote freely in the South. I mean, really? Alter ego? You're full of crap. That's all I got to say. You're full of crap. But I'm just curious, this peacetime Trump guy, right?
Who?
So, yeah, so Trump's supposed to be this peace president, right? So he has militarily threatened Mexico, Canada, Cuba, Colombia, and Panama. He has bombed Iran, Nigeria, Yemen, Somalia, Syria, Iraq, and Venezuela. And now he's threatened to depose the leader of Cuba and Colombia. And we know what he just did with Maduro.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious how this is a peacetime president. How is this a no new wars president?
He's not.
I mean, are y'all done being snowed yet? I'm just curious when it's going to happen. I see a few of them kind of waking up to it, right? And again, we're going to say it 5,000 times. We know that Nicolas Maduro is a bad guy. We don't care. Throw him under the jail.
Yeah.
None of us think that, I just wish the Venezuelans could have gotten him out on their own, right? I wish that, but they didn't. So yes, they're going to be glad he's gone. I get that. Yeah. But now what is the question? They're running around admitting that this is about the oil and that they are going to control the government. So we're going to be in there another 20 years. It's another Afghanistan. It's another Iraq. It's another Vietnam.
Yep.
It's all of it, because that is what this United States is about. But you guys screamed and cried with us interfering and helping Ukraine against an invasion, against a dictator. We shouldn't be doing that. It's none of our business. We don't need to be spending our taxpayer money helping Ukraine. We heard this for so long. But you're okay with us using taxpayer money to go help Venezuela.
What a disgrace.
But yet this guy has told you the Venezuelans are nuts and they're coming from insane asylums and they're bad people and they're cartel, and in canceling all the visas. I think 600,000 visas or something.
Really? Wow. I know he's bringing 600,000 Chinese students in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So and that means 600,000 Americans aren't possibly going to get educated, and then he's bringing in with the H-1B visas too. That means Americans aren't going to get those high-paying jobs. But remember, the tariffs were supposed to be bringing all these jobs back, but then I hear we're in a manufacturing recession right now. And so, but at the end of the day, Joe Biden. All right, there you go. All right, Shay, I gotta move it on.
All right. Thanks for having me, man. All right, bye, everybody. Love you.
No lies detected. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, we have quite a jam-packed show this morning. Good morning, Ange. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's January 6th, and MAGA is still running around acting like they're not responsible for anything.
I know. First of all, yesterday you were partly correct. It was not my daughter's birthday; it was my son's.
Oh.
And yeah. Well, and
happy birthday! Thank you. I knew we had something. Somebody said it. In the audience, so it's not me; it's them.
Today is my daughter's birthday.
Oh,
so,
wow. There you go.
Yeah,
and I remember that. I knew there was a birthday on January 6th.
Yes, and
that's why I was thrown off.
When I stood up a little too quickly and fell, and that was a little embarrassing in front of 1.5K people. Anyway, so they always want to talk about emotions, right? They're, you're so emotional, you're this, you're that. Do they understand their anger and screaming? And that's an emotion, like that you're ticked off and you're mad.
That's an emotion.
That's an emotion, and I hear them constantly say that, and then all I hear if I go through their lives is them yelling and screaming, and I won't name any names, but they probably know who they are. That's all they ever do.
Yeah,
is yell and scream.
They huff and they puff and they try to blow the whole house down, and it never works. They have failed families, failed relationships. I mean, these people, they have nothing going on because they can't regulate their emotions properly. Isn't that sad? Yeah. And the person they worship, isn't he emotional? One of the
very, very. And it is mostly men that I hear doing all the yelling and screaming. So I mean, I don't know what's going on, if you're frustrated or not, but that anyway.
They're not getting any love, and when you don't get love, you find yourself I mean, I used to be the love guru, Ashley,
I
so
know. I've
I
heard.
see it a mile away.
I've heard this about you.
Yeah.
I just want to say to all of the MAGA that are just, so like, oh yeah, we're so strong now and we just took over Venezuela. And yeah, well, first of all, I'm curious as to, because they're saying how, the Venezuelans are so happy, this, that, and the other thing. So are these the same people that wanted the brown people out of this country? And now they're like, oh, look how happy they are. Look, are they saying something to me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
They wanted the brown people out of the country. I believe I heard MAGA saying that.
They did. And now all of a sudden they're happy for them. It's very confusing to me. And I also, along that line, I'm going to need you guys while you're celebrating. I want you to suit up, to be willing to suit up, because this is not going to just stop at Venezuela. Do you understand that? Do you understand geopolitics at all? It's really not that hard to figure out that this is going to go. I mean, he's already talking about Colombia and all these other places. Colombia came out and said, F you, essentially, already. And they're not backing down. And this is a whole, contest. Yeah. But I'm going to need to see you all suiting up. Okay. You're all big, bad and everything. And I want you to do that right next to my son. Yeah. And I want to remind you, people that want to do this, do you want to go a year and a half, 2 years or more without seeing your family? Have you ever thought about that? Because my son is on leave and he's home. I hadn't seen him in over a year and a half.
Wow.
Okay. And this is what you're going to go through. Say nothing about possibly losing your life. There's nothing good about this. We're all these, we're strong men, Mm-mm. You guys are stupid.
Yeah.
You're stupid, men. You haven't thought this through. Just like our president never thinks anything through. Yeah. He doesn't care. It's just going to fall. It's going to fall on us. He doesn't care. This is not America first. This is Donald Trump first. That's what this is.
The Don Road doctrine, so to speak, right? That's what they're preaching.
That's what he said. Yeah. He said it that very day along.
Not even original.
When he said 22 times oil, when he announced that they were doing this, all he did was talk about the oil. He didn't talk about anything else. Nothing else. It was all about the oil.
Yeah.
But don't sit here and act like you really care and all this. We're happy for the Venezuelans when those are the very people you wanted to kick out of our country. It's the hypocrisy as usual. As usual. And one last thing I want to bring up lately, we're going back to the identity politics again, because this is what
people. You got me when you said they want brown people in the United States after we spent an entire year hearing them say they don't want brown people.
Right. Ice baby.
Yeah.
And feed them, the crocodiles and, celebrating alligator Alcatraz.
Just give them the red shoes and the wig and the little nose and the whole clown outfit at this point. Because you can't take these folks serious. These folks are... I'm so sorry to cut you off, but that's going to be something that I just think about all day long. I mean, these folks are literally all over the place.
Well, they don't think anything through whatsoever. No. And the e-files, you guys have covered that. You're correct. A lot of this is distraction from that. I think we all know this. Nutty called it out. Everybody's calling it out. That's totally true. About money too, obviously, which it's always about the money. But just one last thing I'm hearing a lot again is about the pronouns. The pronouns and we got to come up and they're mad if a person wants to identify as he, she, or they're mad about this to the point where my children's school has to have extra police presence. We got a letter because yes, we got a letter. There was an emergency school board meeting because there are parents that are angry that their kids are being forced to use somebody's preferred pronouns. Wow. I mean, really? Are we really focused on this, or are they just also trying to avoid talking about these e-files? Wow. And you guys can only avoid it so long. you can only avoid it so long, and it's coming. So
we're gonna get to the bottom of the e-files, and they know it. And once we get to the real bottom, they're gonna all be held accountable.
Yes,
especially you, Sam.
And that's the thing. I will
with them.
What I will reiterate once again: no matter who is in there, they need to go under the prison. You guys only want to defend Trump. I'm saying it could be my favorite politician or whoever, some Hollywood actor or actress, whatever. If they are in there, doesn't matter.
What's Obama?
Well, that would be a tough one. It's not, but if it is, we got to say the same thing, and they will. They can't say the same thing. They will not. I've listened to these conservatives. The ones that protect the kids turn themselves into pretzels defending Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I got this morning. And thank you guys for dealing with me falling down this show. Appreciate you.
You're good. Wow. W. Ange, ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible. Yeah. I love that. I mean, when you said everything was nice, but the part where you're going, they want to bring brown people back into the United States. I said, wow. You just have to sit here and go, these folks, they are silly and they're dangerous. That's why I say the most dangerous thing in this country, ladies and gentlemen, is truly an uninformed Trump voter, because they'll literally go in the voting booth and cook themselves. They'll just go into the voting booth. What are you doing in here? I'm here to cook myself. And then they'll check off Donald Trump. It's the most disgusting and disturbing thing I have ever seen. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't realize that I had this much time this morning on the app, but I enjoyed myself, really. You all deserve a huge round of applause. Seriously, thank you for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to hang out here with me, Big Zeus. A special thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists, because without you, this show wouldn't be what it is: entertaining, educational, and very engaging. Yes, God bless all of you. But I also got to give one last round of booze and shame. And again, this goes out to all the Trump supporters that hide in the shadows. They don't want to get up here and actually brag about any of the stuff that's going on that Donald Trump is saying is great, because they know once we start drilling into the data and the facts about what's really going on, they know, oh, it's really not so great. They don't want to send their kids to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein. They don't want to send their kids to go and protect this new oil supply that we've gotten. But for some strange reason, they still keep propping up Donald Trump and all his crazy ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending these demons to hell one last time.
Different. 1600 on the throne, right here looking great. No speedy, I'm the goat for sharper than a blade. For a tax, make these clowns pay for all the shade. Bustin' moves, no mid, got the game in a choke. You the guy, got my legs and hitting his spoke. From the Bay to DC, I keep them on their toes. Level up the blueprint, fucking power grow. Filter all the hits, now my circle, A1. Moving again, this race is all the run. Bet I'm dripping, got the power, vision crystal clear. Get the ambition, yeah, making history right here. Ops talk a lot, but they can't push the throne. Posted in the Oval Office, trapping in the zone. Past the heat, got my foot on the gas. I'm bulletproof, yeah, my aura is built to last. Slap with the pen, moving chest, not checkers. Presidential flex, got my aim on the necklace. Level up, we taking over the spot. Get you clean, get it poppin'. we ain't gon' never stop. No cap, we live, yeah. 400,000, 100, 1,605 presidential. We founded our house, posted in the Capitol. Moving like our own block. This gang presidential got the nation in a lot. Got the damage, yeah. 100 no facade. Drip celestial, shining brighter than the star. What I'm calling shots. Vision HD hood track with the news. Turn the dreams into chandeliers. Stay working, but they folding under all the pressure. 1600, I'm the one flexing. I'm the new successor. Back in legacy, gold balls and new crown. Trap soul in the White House. DC is the town. Woke up in the mansion views from the East Wing. Presidential residential. Got the pores inside. No cap on the ride. Playing the clown in the storm. Got the globe dropping bombs like I'm reading out a song. Ops trying to glitch, but the code is unbreakable. Skee-dee-dee through the storm. Legacy unshakable. Showing to the town. Got the city in my blood. Yeah, getting real cold. Make the whole world feel. Good job out there on that. Game in the times. Trip to way, yeah, make you wanna dance. Level up, we taking over the spot. Drip too clean, yeah, we ain't gon' never stop. No cap, we live, yeah, flow on 1,000.